Guess who's back in the house? I hope that you guys are having a lovely day. I just watched episode 2 of RuPaul's Secret Celebrity Drag Race, and the celebrities were the iconic Vanessa Williams, Loni Love, who is one of the hosts of the talk show The Real, and reality star Tami Roman. The drag mentors were some of my favorites from the Drag Race franchise. Asia O'Hara, who just has been killing it after her season. She was the host of Work the World for pretty much most of the shows. When I saw Work the World in LA, she was the host. And she's also the host of RuPaul's Drag Race Live in Vegas. I saw that and she was incredible. The other hosts were the amazing and the quintessential drag queen Alyssa Edwards, and the current reigning, or one half of the current reigning Drag Race All-Stars winner, Trinity the Tuck Taylor. And so I am going to give you guys my top 5 favorite moments from the show. One being Vanessa Williams. Okay, so Vanessa Williams has had an incredible career starting at the age of 20 when she was crowned the first Black Miss America. And the thing that I love about her is that she took a negative situation from her crown being removed from her and coming out on top. On the show, Ru said that Vanessa has done everything in entertainment, and she has. She's had a successful music career. She has worked in television. She has worked in movies. She has worked in theater. And she was on Ugly Betty, which was kind of like a cult favorite back in like the 90s and the early 2000s. But she's definitely had an incredible career, and I love that she really put herself out there wanting to be on this show. Some of my favorite moments were of Vanessa, and one thing that I do love is that her daughter Jillian phoned in to kind of like see her drag transformation, and Jillian is a part of one of my favorite music groups, Lion Babe. I got to see them, I think like 3 years ago in downtown LA, and they are just incredible. If you haven't heard of Lion Babe, check them out. They have a song with Disclosure, and it is one of my favorite Disclosure songs. So you have to check out Lion Babe. 2, okay, all of the drag mentors are on point. So 1, Alyssa Edwards has transformed herself into this Malibu Barbie. I loved that her color palette is just all pinks now. I don't think she wears anything else, but it's just like all pinks and only blonde hair. She came in on her season and she kind of like had a Vanessa Williams drag look going on. I remember thinking that in my head when I saw her season. And she has partnered with Anastasia of Beverly Hills. She has her Beast palette with them, and she just looks incredible. Asia, when Asia walked in, she said, "Let's teach these butterflies how to fly." I lost it. Like Vanessa Williams, Asia took the situation with the butterflies from the finale performance, and she has just come out on top. And we will continue to talk about Asia in the future because she is a dynamic drag queen. And then Trinity she's just a master of confidence. I really love her looks that she turns out. She has some of my favorite looks from the All-Star season, and she is a force in the drag community. So I really love her. So my third favorite moment was the Drag King mini challenge. All of the celebrity contestants had to take clothing, wigs, makeup, and transform themselves into drag kings. And I love that we kind of like get something relevant to drag kings. I actually love drag kings. Landon Sider is one of my favorite drag kings. He was on Dragula season 3 and actually won. And drag kings are some of the most talented individuals in the drag community, so I loved it. And one thing that I did love is that each character transformed themselves into a different character. So Loni was like a truck driver, Tami was like this stoner guy, and Vanessa was this preppy guy. And Loni, even though I've never seen Loni's like stand-up routine, I actually want to, because she was able to kind of like throw in ad-libs that were hilarious. They had to do something related to kind of like an electoral dysfunctional prescription medication, and it was hilarious. Loved it. She said that, I used to vote in all of the elections, the midterms, the presidential, and even the school board superintendent. I hit the floor. Hilarious. My fourth favorite thing was the Maxi Challenge, actually. It was a spoof of the movie 9 to 5. And it was called Twerking 5 to 9. And Vanessa Williams really killed it. I was nervous for her because she is the older one of the group. But she really oozed Dolly Parton sex appeal. And so I was really shocked. But Tami was really good. Tami just looks incredible. Tami goes so her dermatologist name is Dr. Aman Abdallah. And if I could afford it, I would go to see Dr. Abdallah, because whatever she's doing for Tami looks really good. And Loni had like this strong performance that was just so on point with Lily Tomlin, and she killed it. And my favorite thing was her kind of like removing her wig and getting into kind of like a track suit. Loved it, loved it, loved it. My fifth favorite moment was just Loni being emotional and letting go and being vulnerable. And she said something that was so powerful, is that to the queens, and I guess to kind of like all drag queens, that you are special and you have meaning, and drag isn't about just getting into hair and makeup. You have to have confidence and you have to exude it. And there was a tender moment with Alyssa, and Alyssa said that, that we were those little boys that had sugar in a tank, and we were introduced to a world that embraces us, and we get to celebrate that. And that was such a tender and special moment. And that's why I really kind of like enjoy this show. There has been some criticism that they wish that there was more trans representation from this show, and hopefully we will see some of the contestants who've come out as trans in the past to appear as drag mentors on the show. And I want to give a shout out to my good friend Roberto. Because of coronavirus, he isn't working right now, and he actually went back to our hometown, or our home state, I should say, Florida. And Jamal Sims he has a small crush on Jamal Sims. And I won't tell you guys that he had something to do with Jamal's divorce from his dreamy husband, but he had something to do with it. If you don't follow him on IG, I think it's at Berto Says or Berto Says Online, something like that. And tell him that I said hello if you find it. And tell him to get back to LA soon so we can do a video together. And I loved their transformation for the runway. So the runway category was Eleganza, Extravaganza, and Vanessa, her drag character name is... What was her drag character name? Vanquisha the House. And she looked like Rogue. Is it Rogue? Wait, no. Rogue from X-Men. I believe Rogue turns into Phoenix. And she looked like the drag equivalent of Phoenix in X-Men. Tami, her drag persona is Miss Shanita Cocktail, which is hilarious. And she was wearing the trans flag colors. So I loved it. And she definitely looked like kind of like Mother Nature, very ethereal, very otherworldly, very soft. I love the colors. And she just looked really good. Lonnie's drag character name is Mary J. Ross, which is a combination of Mary J. Blige and Diana Ross. And Loni really had the best transformation to me. Her body looked so good. They cinched her waist and gave her some padding, and her hair and makeup looked good. Like at one point she told Trinity, are you done with my makeup? Because this doesn't look good. But Trinity was quote unquote baking her, and the contour and highlights looked really good. And so the song that they have to perform to is Sylvester, You Make Me Feel. And it's such a great drag song. And this song was actually performed on an episode of Drag Race, I think with Layla McQueen and Dax. I think that was the song that they performed to. And they both were sent home on that song, if I remember correctly. And so Ru announces that Vanessa is the winner, and her charity that she was playing to win money for was the Trevor Project, which is a LGBT suicide hotline. And I'm so happy that they're getting the money. It's such an incredible organization. But also Tami and Loni, they won $10,000 for their charity organizations, which are St. Jude's Children's Hospital, which deals with cancer research, and Dress for Success. 3 great organizations. And so I love that they all kind of like in the end stated that they were going to take away specific things, and drag really gave them confidence, and they are going to take that confidence and really utilize it in situations where they don't feel as confident. And so I love that. I am curious about you all's thoughts about this particular episode. There was some also controversy about Chanel, Layla, and I forget who the other person was, actually, that they did the makeup for episode 1 for the celebrities. I don't know if they actually did the makeup for the celebrities in episode 2, but I'm curious about that. The weird thing is that they aren't on the show, but Wow Presents had a clip of Chanel on their YouTube channel. So that was kind of like odd. But I'm sure there's a reason for it. Maybe there just wasn't enough like camera time to include the other queens. But they haven't released the footage of the other 2 queens. So maybe that'll come out this week. And so let me know your thoughts. Who do you think should have won the the maxi challenge. I actually thought it was going to be Loni because she won the mini challenge and she did so good in the maxi challenge. And overall, I loved her look the most. So just let me know your thoughts. And until next time, I hope that you guys have a wonderful day. Oh, and before I forget, please make sure that you like and share this video. And if you haven't already, subscribe so I can bring joy to your life. Have a wonderful day. Besos. Mwah.